If someone were to come out from under my bed in the middle of the night and whisper in my ear as I was processing what the hell was going on, what the most asked question is, I wouldn't even hesitate saying that was what the meaning of life was. Then I'd call the police. Yes, from the beginning of philosophy with contributors such as Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato, all the way to the Discord and Reddit moderators in the present, I believe everyone, including myself, have dipped their toes in trying to find an answer. The philosopher Socrates believed that living a fulfilling and prosperous life was the meaning. Plato, on the other hand, believed that chasing what was beautiful, virtuous, and eternally true was the true meaning in life. I can go on and on about the different ideas that stem from this question, but the point I'm making is that there are many different ideas and not one is deemed the right meaning to life. I basically just described philosophy in a nutshell, but knowing that there will always be a different idea to the question made me self reflect and figure out what I myself thought the meaning of life was. My go to answer at the time when the question was ever brought up was to live life to the fullest, and 7-year-old me was content with that answer. However, at the start of college, I began to question life itself and really understand the whole meaning to everything going on. Why was I born in the first place? What's the point of doing anything at all if it will end someday? Why even try to come up with ideas if there will never be an answer? Surprisingly, it was my writing in digital environments class that helped me finally reach a conclusion. The professor was teaching our class about exigence, which is a situation, problem, or issue that requires someone to speak out. Don't worry, I was confused as hell when I first heard those words come out of my professor's mouth. Basically, say you're in a library and someone shouted a curse word, and now everyone is trying to figure out who it was. The person shouting the curse word itself was exigence, because it caused people to begin reacting in different ways. One student may ignore it and try to keep reading, while another decides to be a little snitch and figure out who it was. Don't worry, it took at least 10 more examples of this caliber from ChatGPT before I started to get a good understanding of what exigence was. From the idea of exigence, there were two people that had different views on the role the audience played when reacting to exigence, those being Lloyd Bitzer and Richard E. Vatz. Bitzer claimed that the problem was already present and had meaning to it and it made the audience react. So when the person shouted, it caused people to speak out about it. Vatz, on the other hand, did the equivalent of an Uno reverse and claimed that the situation did not make the audience react, but rather the audience gave the situation meaning by reacting to it. So if someone shouted a curse word and it happened to be next to a guy who enjoyed hearing curse words yelled in a library, instead of the exigence being rude, it would instead be hilarious. The meaning behind the situation is only determined by how the audience reacts. When I learned about exigence as well as Bitzer and Vatz's input on the matter, I began to wonder if life itself was exigence. Once I made that correlation, everything started to make sense once I viewed exigence through Vatz's point of view. Life does not have a meaning, but we, the audience, give it one. If someone starts to view life as being horrible, then the person will begin to experience life miserably. On the other hand, if someone were to see life in a more positive light, then the person will begin to experience life in a more joyful manner. So it doesn't matter how deep or smart one's view on life could be, all that matters is how that view influences someone's perception of life. Thanks again for watching the video. It just made sense to cover the meaning of life after discussing death. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and again remember, this is just my thoughts and you're totally justified if you disagree with anything I said. If you have any takes on what the meaning of life is, please feel free to put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear some people's thoughts. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys in our next discussion.